say your name and your profession?
Julian. I write the songs and sing in the band.
Could you tell us the story of the Strokes? Like
the story? Well, we all met in school in New York, and let me see. I met Albert actually in Switzerland when I was like a little kid. You know, just like I went there for a short time, and I wasn't friends with him, but he was from L.A. Anyway, we all knew each other from school, played music, and we needed a guitarist. And then this friend called me, who looked me up, and I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm playing the guitar." We met, and that was Albert, and that was the last one. And that's I don't know, it's a quick history, I guess.
Is there some sort of gender to the Strokes? Like,
gender?
No, like
You mean male or female?
Yeah, you mean a female? No, like a thought behind it and ideas to the Strokes.
Well, I think the main idea is a musical one. It's that feeling that you hear when you hear like your favorite songs. Like there's always like there's 2 or 3 like amazing songs that you hear, and that feeling that you hear whether you're in a car, at a party, or alone at home in bed, and you hear the song and it just hits you so strong. That's sort of like what we aim for. That's sort of like my favorite thing about music, and that's more than a speaking message. I think it's more like a musical one.
So it's like the feeling that you get from it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm much more into like the whole music thing. I mean, I think lyrics are important, but it's not like we have like a political message or anything like that, you know?
Yeah.
It's more about like people that really like music, that can enjoy themselves. It's that kind of feeling. That's like our shows, like especially in New York. It's like everyone's there. It's like a part. It's like everyone's there just to enjoy good music and have a good time, and I think that's what it's all about.
Okay. You're quite hyped.
Quite hyped.
You're like really hyped.
Yeah, well, that's a little silly.
With that, I mean, it's quite hard, isn't it?
It's not really hard. I mean, our album hasn't come out yet. You know, in magazines they make it seem like stars, but you walk in the street and I'm like the same. It's not like people recognize it, you know. I think it's once the album comes out and people hear the music is when I'll be interested in what the reaction is. Right now, I don't care. We put enough pressure on ourselves to keep getting better that I'm not worried about what journalists who are trying to sell magazines are writing. Jeg kan ikke lide kartoflerne.
Huh?
Jeg kan ikke lide kartoflerne. Sorry.
You don't like kartoflerne?
Nej.
You don't like the potatoes?
Det er ulækker. No, I'm sorry.
You are a Dane.
Yes.
Like nearly a Dane.
Half. My mother was born in Copenhagen. I think like a building project outside Copenhagen, and my grandparents moved to Julian, and so when I was like 2 years old and like until I was maybe like 12, or like young, I would go and like visit my grandparents, you know, sometimes visit my family because I have like, you know, 30 cousins and all these like family. It's like, hey, you know, like the New Yorker. I think they all thought it was fun, you know, it was a good time, it was a good memory. I was coming from New York, especially Denmark was like an amazing place because everyone was so nice. Everyone was so like geared towards like social like balance. And it was very strange, you know. I was probably 10 years old, and I would ask like my uncles and stuff like, why don't people just like steal that? You know, like it's right there. It's like you can steal. It's like, well, we don't think of it that way, you know. And I'm just like, wow. From New York, it's like such a different mentality. It was like it was even as a child you can understand that, you know.
Så du forstår faktisk dansk?
Jeg kan forstå dansk. Jeg kan ikke forstå what you just said.
But
yeah. What's the word with the F? What does that mean?
Forstå?
No, you said. What was the question you asked me?
Så du kan forstå dansk?
Oh, in it. When I would come to Denmark, I wouldn't understand, but by the end of 2 weeks, right before I left, I could like speak to my grandmother and grandfather, and say like, you know, I don't know, I'd like, I don't know. I could say like, I'll mow the lawn, you know, like, you know, you want me to pick a cucumber out of the backyard, you know, it's like, I could say that thing. Like, do you mind if I watch television? Like, I could say all that. I forget it now, but if I stayed in Denmark for 2 weeks, I think I could communicate with most people.
It's quite weird though that like you come from there, but
Actually, my mother was Miss Denmark.
she was Miss Denmark.
She's Miss Denmark. Yeah, her friend had like sent. I go to see in my grandmother's house. Like, she has all these pictures of my mom. She was a model, you know, and she, her friend had sent a picture, and she won a buggy. You know, those little Volkswagens. She gave it to her father. I don't know, just information that I think it's funny.
So she's nice, your mom.
Oh, my mom is the sweetest person in the world, you know. My parents were divorced when I was young, so I lived with my mother my whole life, you know. I spoke to her this morning, I said, because we arrived in Copenhagen, and I gave her a call, and I said, guess where I am? I said, I'm in Copenhagen. And so, yeah, it's pretty cool. I like Denmark. It's, you know, it's such cool people. And hot girls, too. Yeah. You could just tell on the plane, you know, we've been in England and like all these places. As soon as we got on the flight to Copenhagen, it was like everywhere around, you know. It's just like it's very different.
Yeah, you're not playing there yet, are you?
No, I wanted to. Like I said before, you know, we were invited. Someone had a cancellation, and we were going to play the Roskilde Festival, which is a place where, as a little kid, I went into the street market. You know, it was the most fun for me because I was stuck in, like, you know, in the backyard all day. I wanted to do it, but we were too far away.